Hi, welcome back. So today I'm going to be starting a series here going through all of the Pathos Dimensions End stages. I'm going to be skipping over 1 and 2 because they're only EX difficulty and I don't think they really warrant a video. But just so you can see, this is the team I used to clear number 1. And this is the team I used to clear number 2. Number 2, you can see this is not exactly the strongest team in the world. These shouldn't be too much of a challenge for anybody. I just removed the complete on number 3 here. This is the team I used to beat it last time, so I will be using it again. So let's get right into it. So the first 3 waves here are basically just random skeleton monsters. They're here to eat up turns, so just sort of blow through them as quickly as possible. Goal here, of course, get Armiger up quickly, get Prompto's buff on, get Wakka's buffs on. Wakka here is just going to eat turns like crazy the entire run, but this one's only Cosmos difficulty, so you can get away with wasting some turns a little more often than you probably could in a Chaos stage. So this team ends up working. So even though that would have killed, I'm still going to use this to get my first stack of Armiger going. Shooting Star gets his Max Brave buff going. Now, the reason I opened with Warp Strike in the first wave and not Shooting Star, if I open with Shooting Star, the damage is not enough to kill the enemy. If I have his attack up buff in place already and use a Shooting Star, it is enough to one-shot kill it. So that's why I did it in this particular order. That was actually intentional. Now these guys are not going to be able to one-shot kill anything. You see Wakka's damage is just laughably bad. Still, that's what I end up doing. So when you get a turn like this, I am going to go ahead and use a Shooting Star Plus. I just don't want to have both skills on their plus version going into a new wave. It's just very wasteful. Now this is a very quick way to charge your summon. Of course, you're not going to be needing this in wave 3. There isn't a mini-boss wave in this one. It's just more random skeletons. The ones that are targeting you, you do sort of nonetheless want to kill fairly quickly because they can blind you, and if nothing else, that'll waste an action. Other than that, though, there's nothing especially dangerous about any of these enemies. Let's see if Wakka can kill this one because it has more HP, and he actually can. Look at that. Alright, so we get into the final wave. So part of the reason I brought Noctis was this is his Lost Chapter boss, and I just sort of thought he'd be good at it. I brought Prompto, of course, because his evasion tanking makes this very easy. And Wakka is, well, I just didn't want to use a more important character this early on into the Dimensions End, fearing I would need them later. The other benefit, of course, to Wakka for this is that Dark Attack does blind for 2 turns, which, if for some reason I just forget to dodge with Prompto or the turn order works out poorly, gives me a get-out-of-jail-free card, basically. Or, of course, he can do this for a pretty strong Brave charge to the whole team. Alright, so Prompto's Piercer is going to put a nice defense down on the enemy. We do want to keep that up most of the time. Alright, and then Noctis, I'm going to open with Shooting Star to get Point Blank Warp going. Alright, so I don't know if it's going to attack before or after Prompto, so I'm going to use a Dark Attack just to be safe. So it's after Prompto, so I can safely use a Star Shell here and dodge. The reason you gotta be careful is if it does get a Brave Break with its attacks, it will follow up almost instantly with Thrust Torrent and can kill you. Now, you can sometimes get lucky, like if Prompto has a turn left on his evasion buff and it just randomly targets him, he might break Noctis and then miss his HP attack on Prompto, but I don't want to rely on that. And the nice thing about Noctis is you don't have to rely on guesswork, you can use him to test when the next turn is. You simply use his ability, I know it's going next, right? So, for example, with Noctis, if it was still targeting Noctis, I could have done a Warp Strike Plus, and seeing it was going next, I could have just used a Brave Plus or something to avoid it. Now, Prompto can safely attack here, because he does get 2 turns duration of that evasion. Alright, so what to do now? So Noctis does have his HP++, which is very nice. I'm going to go ahead and test for the Shooting Star Plus to see when his next turn is. If nothing else, this may give Wakka a chance to dump some Brave. And if it doesn't, he's going to go next. I'm going to go ahead and do the HP++. Alright, so here, it's targeting Wakka. I'm going to go ahead and use an Overkill. It's going to give it attack down debuff. I think I can safely get away with that. I'm sort of gambling here, but I'm working under the assumption that Wakka will get to go before it does. And he did, so that's fine. With the attack down debuff, this is not going to break Wakka. You can see it only did like 2,000 damage. So you can pretty safely do a lot of stuff like that. Now here I can see its turns again. That means I'm generally in a fairly safe position. If I want to be extra safe here, I can even try to steal a turn. I don't need to. So what I'm going to do, I need to reapply Point Blank Warp. This is going to break it. It's going to put Prompto back into moving next. I'm again going to use an Overkill. I don't want to waste his Star Shells too early. This will not be able to break him with the attack down. Okay, so sometimes you just get turns with Wakka and there's not really a sensible thing to do. Yeah, I have no idea what the best move to do here is. I'm going to use Dark Attack just for a little extra damage. And he got an extra turn, so he's going to Brave Attack. Alright, so here, the best thing to do is going to be an HP++, because when it breaks, Noctis is going to get the next turn before the boss anyway. So you don't want to use like a plus skill there. Alright, so Prompto's in sort of an uncomfortable position. If I use a Star Shell, for example, he's going to leak a ton of Brave. So I'm going to use a Crack Shot here. And then if I need to buy some time with Noctis, for example, I can just keep stealing turns here, basically. So, for instance, I can use a Set Warp Advance and just continue to steal turns until Prompto gets a turn again. This is almost completely unnecessary because I know he can't HP attack. But it doesn't hurt to get a little extra burst damage in and get his health low. The turn count is not especially tight for this, but I still don't want to run out of turns, so... Conjure Armiger is a pretty decent move just because now I have a little bit of overflow from my my extra ability, so just a little bonus damage. Alright, so now Prompto can safely throw a Star Shell or something. Now again, an Overkill would have been just fine. Now, so here, he's still targeting Prompto. So I can very safely attack with him, because I still have 2 turns of duration. However, you can see, I want to use Trigger Happy, but Piercer's also going to wear off. Trigger Happy is, I think, the more important buff. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. His next turn, I'll try to use a Piercer. So, this could be dangerous if he goes before Wakka. If he gets a Brave Break on Wakka, he could kill someone. I don't know how many turns I have left. So I'm going to go ahead and summon at this point, because I don't have a safe option for what to do. I'm going to use a shooting star because I do need point blank warp. Great Daring's going to give me the most brave here. Battery during a summon's never a bad thing. Fortunately, he steals a ridiculous number of turns. And we'll go ahead and launch. So you can see Wakka will at least get a turn before the boss goes, so that's good to know. Also, so will Prompto, which means I can do this. Now, I'm not in a dangerous position with Wakka anymore, and I can safely attack. Alright, so I only have 2 turns left on my Conjure Armiger buff, so I'm going to use a Warp Strike just in case. My EX should be up in time, but just in case it's not. So I've got an awful lot of turns here in a row from breaking him. I'm a little concerned that if Prompto gets another turn in a row, I'm going to have to waste something. Nonetheless, nobody has any Brave, so this is still the better move. My backup plan would have been I could use a Dark Attack there, but I don't think I need it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty sure Noctis will get a turn before it does. I'm guessing, again, sometimes there's a little guesswork involved in this boss, but it shouldn't matter in any case. Prompto, you can see, still has a turn of evasion up. So really, no matter what I do here, I'm not in any real danger. So I'm gonna go. I'm still gonna have to use a Star Shell because it'll fall off. All right, so he did try to use Thrust Torrent, so that could have killed somebody, but of course Prompto just dodges, so 0 threat there. Alright, Prompto still has lots of time on that, so we're going to attack with him. And now, at this point, I'm just going to try to blow it up with Noctis. I do still have a set warp advance. Using the warp strike first, because if it doesn't kill it and he recovers from break, I can actually get Wakka to help on the chase, so makes more sense to use this second. And that'll do it. 63 turns out of an 85, so again, this is only a Cosmos difficulty fight. It's just one you gotta play a little more carefully because he can randomly one-shot people. As long as you avoid that, it's not too bad. You can easily get away with using, well, really any tank. Galuf or Snow can tank this pretty handily. And you can see I carried someone like Wakka through this, so shouldn't be too bad. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and good luck on your own run.